All right, guys, we're back now. We've done the firmware update. Now let's go through the configuration. First, let's go to ports. And under ports, we need to look at what we've done here. Don't forget, we installed a GPS, and we also have a, in this particular build, we have an XM receiver. And the XM receiver is going to be on UART 6. So under serial RX, turn on UART 6 for XM receiver. We also know that our audio is connected to the TX on UART 3 for smart audio. So come over to UART 3. And let me see, drop this down and go to IRC Tramp. Click that. That's going to be for your smart audio. You will notice here that it says there is no VTX table set. We will fix that, so do not worry about that just yet. Now for UART 2, we are going to be doing GPS. So on our sensor import on UART 2, drop down here under sensor input and select GPS. Leave everything else like it is and click Save and Reboot. Okay, and that's going to be for our ports tab. So again, we were going to go, don't worry about this problem. We haven't done motor output yet, but let's go back to our ports tab. Make sure it looks just like it does here. USB VCP is on this first part. It says the MSP configuration should be on. And then UART 1 has nothing. UART 2 has GPS under sensor input. UART 3 has the VTX IRC Tramp selection. And UART 6 has serial RX. That's it. Once you verify that, go to configuration. Now, this does support DShot 600, the ESC does, and we're not going to get into that discussion right now. What we are going to do is we are going to go to OneShot 125, and that's where we're going to stay today. On OneShot 125, this is one that allows us to configure the ESC, make sure that we can calibrate and that there's no problem, so we're going to use this. We will not get into the rest of this discussion right now, but we will do a chapter on Betaflight later. For right now, do not have this turned on and do not have this turned on. Leave both of these off. Leave everything else just like you see it there. And leave everything else like you see it here. Leave this off as well under motor direction. Scroll down. Turn off magnetometer. Turn off barometer. Leave accelerometer on, and you can leave the PID loop frequency at 8 kilohertz. Maximum arm angle at 25 degrees. Leave that like it is. And accelerometer trim. Do not adjust any of those. Craft name, in this case, I'm going to put the name of the craft, which is going to be the DT140 DIY+. You can put whatever name you like in yours. FPV camera angle, we're going to leave alone for now. We're going to come down to receiver, and we're going to make sure it says serial-based receiver, but under here it cannot say spectrum. For me, it needs to say S-Bus, and for you, most likely, it will say S-Bus as well. Leave the RSSI alone. Leave the 3D ESC motor features alone. On GPS, turn it on. And then drop down here and go to your protocol and select U-blocks. You can auto-config. And we're also going to go ahead and set North American. Okay? As far as on this side goes, you leave everything else like it is. Autobot, you can leave it. You could turn it on, I guess, but we'll leave it. Auto config stays on. Use Galileo will stay off. Set home point, and what this basically means is we can set that later when we mess with GPS, but this is basically going to be your home point if you do a return to home for your drone. Don't mess with it right now. We don't need to. On this side, leave this off. Leave everything else off here. I will turn telemetry on because I do expect to use that with my radio. Channel forwarding, no. Transponder, no. Air mode, I will turn off. I do not want air mode on under every feature. OSD will stay on, and dynamic filter can stay on. RX lost, RX set will stay off, and all the rest of these can stay on for the time being. Go ahead and click save and reboot. And guys, you can go back and check this again. So make sure to go back and take your time to check those out. Let's click connect again. Now you can see our error message is gone because we set our motor protocol. So on ports is good. Configuration is good. Power and battery, these look right for now. So let's just leave those like they are. Fail safe we will deal with later. PID tuning later, and receiver we will do later. First thing we want to do is let's just check our motors. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to motors. And at this point, you're going to make sure your props are off. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab a power source, probably your LiPo battery. For me, I'm using a AC to DC converter. But in either case, what we want to do is we want to be able to give power to our drone. All right? So we're going to do that. And let me get the piece here that I need so I can attach to my XT30. This is my smoke stopper. I'm hoping you're using one too. We are going to plug our drone in. Let me make sure my voltage is set right. It is set at 14 volts. I'll take that. So let me plug this in, and we're going to listen for our tones. Ready? Okay. Turn it on. Excellent. So our drone is up and running. Now, the problem here is that we are going to most likely interfere with our VTX and our camera. So I'm going to go ahead and just very quickly test our motors first, okay? Here's what I want to do. I'm going to come down here, make sure there's no propellers on. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click this button right here, okay? And once that does that, that's going to let me start spinning the motors, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take motor 1 and I'm going to turn it on. And I'm going to see if it spins, and it does. I can see it spinning. This is motor 1 right here, and it is spinning clockwise, which means to the right, and that is correct. Okay? So I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to go to motor 2. Motor 2 is spinning, and it is spinning counterclockwise to the left, and that is correct. Turn that off. I'm going to go to motor 3 over here. Bless you. Motor 3 is spinning, and it is spinning to the right. So that is incorrect, and we're going to need to change that. Okay? And we're going to go to motor 4. Motor 4 is spinning to the right, and that is correct. So we're good. So of all the motors, only one motor is spinning the wrong direction, and we will fix that in BL Heli. So we're going to stop this video right here now. Make sure you note that your motor, which motors are spinning in the wrong and right direction, and if you need reference to that, let me just take you back up here to our configuration. And if you look at the way the motors are set here to spin, this is motor 1, and it spins clockwise, and that was correct. Motor 2, as you can see in the picture, motor 2 spins counterclockwise, and that was correct. Motor 3 is supposed to spin counterclockwise, but it was spinning clockwise, so we're going to change that. So that one is incorrect. Motor 4 was spinning clockwise. That was correct. So we're good to go. We're going to end the video here, and we're going to start back by going to BL Heli on our next video. See you guys.